next guest was wheelchair-bound by autoimmune-type arthritis for 2.5 years, yet now she's here to share how she found a cure through food. Welcome, the author of Conquering Arthritis, Barbara Allan. Barbara, welcome to our show.
It is such a good day. Any day out of pain, able to walk is a great day.
You're moving, you're feeling good, so clearly you're okay now. But let's talk about this, because you were only 25 when you were diagnosed with arthritis.
At a young age.
What was the trigger? What was going through your head? I mean, what happened?
My trigger is I went on vacation and I ate food that had Shigella as a bacteria. I got bacterial dysentery, and that triggered it. That started the autoimmune reaction in my body.
Wow, so it was your body doing it to itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Essentially.
Yes.
So let's talk about then, you're in a lot of pain, right? I mean, this is what it consists of. Soon you lost your mobility. But why didn't the doctors know how to treat you? Where was the lapse here?
The disconnect is what doctors are taught is how to treat symptoms, how to suppress your symptoms.
Okay.
So that's all they were doing. And because I had something called delayed food and chemical sensitivities, they weren't even getting at the cause, so the drugs didn't work very well for me.
So what about the treatment for the infection, though?
The infection went away, but my immune system stayed revved up.
Okay.
So then I'm assuming you just had to do your own research, right?
I did.
How did you come about finding a cure for your arthritis?
Well, the first thing is even trying to walk a few steps at a time put me in feigning intensities of pain. And at one point, the pain was so intense that I died. I didn't just see the light at the end of the tunnel. I merged with it.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and at that point, I mean, it was the most amazing experience of total love and light.
Really?
I didn't want to go back, but then I was told I had to go back.
Okay.
And that there was a cure for my arthritis. So my doctors were telling me there was nothing more that could be done for me, but I knew that wasn't right.
Okay.
So at that point, I mean, you have to be your own advocate. You do. When it comes to medical treatments, if you're not happy with what you're receiving. But it's funny because we were looking at some of the outrageous claims you came across, because doing your own research is one thing, but deciding what's valid and what's not is another. We're talking treatments like burial in horse manure, taking cocaine.
Yeah. Well, and that's that's
sitting
what happens.
in uranium mines.
Yeah, I mean, is when people who are in intense pain that traditional modern medicine can't help, you're victim to a lot of these types of things. And luckily, you didn't fall prey to that, but you found something else that
What did you change?
Luckily, I was in a PhD program in molecular biology at Washington University, a premier medical research institution. So everything I read in the lay literature, I checked in the medical literature. And if it made sense for rheumatoid arthritis, which was the closest disease to mine, then I would try it.
Okay.
So what I found was, well, the first thing that really helped me was meditation.
Okay.
So deep-seated fear and anger.
And you say that's one of the first of 3 underlying causes of arthritis, that
it's
fear and
deep-seated.
anger.
Okay.
So doctors, it's not in their training. They're not going to tell you that anger is really hot, and when it goes inward, that's inflammation, like really painful inflammation.
Yeah.
And it sounds kind of crazy unless you've had it released through meditation. But then it just becomes these waves of pleasure that are empowering.
So do you still meditate on a regular basis?
Every day.
Okay.
So you also say there are food and chemical triggers. That's another underlying cause of arthritis. For you, what were your triggers?
So my triggers were corn, wheat, rice, beef, and a lot of different food additives.
Okay.
And the most difficult one was dextrose, which is in table salt. If I got even the slightest trace of any salted food, within a few hours, I was a ball of pain.
Yeah.
And it was hard to get out of bed for days.
And are you still needing to avoid all those things?
No, and that's the beauty of it.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Because if you avoid all your triggers for between 6 months and 2 years, mostly you get all of those foods back. I'm not on
It's kind of like your body recorrected itself, right? I mean, if you're explaining this to someone who doesn't understand the medical or the science behind it, essentially you had to reset your body.
Exactly. They're memory cells that teach your body what to attack, and if you avoid that for long enough, mostly they go away.
And I just want to say too, you know, as a dietitian, I do food sensitivity testing in my office as well, and that's what people don't understand is it's much different than a food allergy, and it is something that can have effects like arthritis, or for me it's migraines. And so not everybody who has arthritis should avoid, you know, rice and wheat and corn and beef and all the things you said, but that was your body's reaction, and so everybody needs to get tested.
Everybody
for their
has
own
to be
body.
tested, and it can change over time.
Right.
Let's
so
talk
don't
about
avoid what. Yeah, you have to be individually.
Your third part is lack of exercise as one of those underlying causes for arthritis. So now, you're a biker, you do martial arts, we've got video of you. I mean, check this out. Here you are with your bike and your gear. Tell us how exercise has changed your life. Do you appreciate it more now that you're pain-free and mobile?
Absolutely, I don't take it for granted. But what I discovered when I was researching is...
Look at you.
If you were to put a splint, either of you, any healthy person were to put a splint on any joint, and for 6 weeks not move it, you would get the exact same arthritis changes going on as if you had rheumatoid arthritis.
Because it's not, you're not using those muscles.
Right. It's use it or lose it. So to be healthy, you have to move your joints. And you have to move it every day. And people with arthritis, you know, hopefully you don't know this from your own experience, but when you're in pain, you want to be really still. But you've got to move. And you've also got to stay strong. So even when I was in a wheelchair and I couldn't get up to do strength exercises, I could still do things, isotonic exercises.
Well, I'm so happy you came and shared your story. I think it's really going to enlighten people at home to be their own advocates, do a little research, and do what works for you. So thank you so much. And if you guys want more information as well, you can visit conqueringarthritis.com.